see my title slide here. And if you would like to follow along or access the presentation, you can scan the QR code here. It'll take you to the presentation slides. I won't be talking about everything on this document, but because there's not enough time, but you can peruse it at your leisure. And I just want to start by saying when I first sent this abstract to for this iCal conference, ChatGPT didn't exist. I'm assuming you've all heard of ChatGPT, but which is the artificial chatbot that came out in November, and then next week GPT-4 is going to be coming out. So that's how fast artificial technologies are happening these days, and it's going to be really necessary for people who work with language and writing to keep up with what's going on in the artificial intelligence realm. So just a real quick primer here, in case you don't know what ChatGPT is. It is a text generator. It's created by an organization called OpenAI, and it was released in November 2022. And the whole their idea, it's actually started out as a nonprofit. Started by a lot of tech people like Elon Musk, and to try to build artificial intelligence in a more accessible way. It's now since been mostly bought up by Microsoft, so it is a for-profit organization now. It's based on what's called GPT-3 technology, and I won't get into the technical things about it, but basically it's taken a bunch of data from the internet and now it uses that data to predict what linguistically might come next. So it's a predictive technology that generates text. One thing I like to stress is that artificial intelligence, as it is now, it does not make meaning, it does not write. It is generating text based on linguistic probability. No matter what other people are saying or what our experiences with the technology, it makes coherent text using our prompts. It does a very good job with that, but it's still just predicting what comes next. The most basic form of this technology is on your phone or in Microsoft Outlook. When you're writing an email, it will actually sometimes suggest to you what might come next. It's just that technology built on this huge amount of data. AI does not think, it does not have purpose, it does not make judgments, it does not have understanding. The meaning, when a generated text makes meaning only when we read it and make meaning out of it. So it needs us to make sense of what it's generating. So really, it's ChatGPT then is not actually a writing. It's a writer. It is a tool, kind of like a hammer here. You can use a tool in a lot of different ways. So you can use a hammer to build things, to take things apart, and sometimes we discover new ways of using a hammer, like getting the attention from somebody. And of course, there are bad ways to use a hammer that I won't mention. But so it's important for us to think about it, how we use it. It's not necessarily that we should tell students or tell people not to use AI in their writing. We should be showing them what are the right uses of AI. And generally, what we're seeing among writing scholars, writing instructors who are implementing AI in the classroom is we're making an important distinction between two kinds of AI writing. So you have AI assisted writing, and this is where you use artificial intelligence to help you with your writing, but it does not generate your content for you. So this would be for brainstorming, outlining, researching, getting feedback on your writing. And I'll show you a couple examples real quick in a second. And then AI generated writing is where AI actually creates some of your content for you. So this would be, for example, autocomplete on your phones. There's also prompt engineering where you're asking AI to write something for you. I'll show you that in a second. Rewriting text that you've already written. and then what I call automating the boring stuff. So AI is probably going to be doing a lot of writing boring stuff for us. And I'll show you that in a second. The other way to think about AI is as a teaching assistant. So, or as an intern. It only can do as much as you, as the instructions that you give the AI. So if you don't give your teaching assistant or your intern instructions, you're not going to get very good results, right? So it's the same with ChatGPT. So the real danger here is, if students are going to use AI, they're going to use ChatGPT. I'm assuming students in Pakistan are using it right now. I'm not sure, but they're going to use it whether we like it or not. But it's like putting an intern in charge of the interns. So I want to be there helping them learn how to use AI in the right way. So I have some examples here of AI assisted writing, which you could kind of look through on your own. But here's just one real quick example to illustrate what I mean by AI assistance. So for example, one of the assignments we give in our classes is a personal narrative where a student will reflect on a writing moment and explore how that plays into their identity. And so here, a student might, they have an idea, they tell ChatGPT what the assignment is, that they're supposed to focus on a specific moment. They have the specific moment that they want to write about, and they're supposed to have a specific audience, which is a typical problem that students have in the university, is figuring out how to write for specific audiences. And so the student will tell ChatGPT that they need a specific audience. Do you have any ideas? And here's the result. We got 5 ideas for audiences, and they're pretty good ideas, I would say. And so this would help a student get started who really doesn't know how to get started with what kind of audience they want to write for. Now, they might even be not sure how to get started with an introduction. And so you can actually ask ChatGPT, give an example of an introductory paragraph for each audience. And as you can see, it continues the conversation by providing an example. And these are not like awesome, awesome examples, but they're good enough to get a student started thinking about how they might get introduce their story, kind of like a textbook. So you often would maybe look at examples in a textbook to get your brain started.
Dr. Lance Cummings, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we are running short of time. I wish we had more time for you. Thank you, Dr. Lance Cummings, for your participation, and it's truly appreciated. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hamid Sahab, is Dr. Michael online?